Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle aren't the only ways the Miami Dolphins will try to exploit the Buffalo Bills. Hey Bills Mafia, welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. In this video, we are going to be discussing the matchup here between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. A lot of talk about Miami being 2-0 and the Buffalo Bills being 2-0, but Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill just had a massive performance last week, slinging that ball around in the final comeback at the end of the game. And there's two things that we know about the Buffalo Bills entering this game. Week 1, we played the LA Rams with Cooper Kupp and we shut him down. Super Bowl champions last year, a top-tier passing attack last year, and the Buffalo Bills came out and shut him down. And then the king, the running back, Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans, we shut him down to 25 total yards, giving him the lowest rushing total in several seasons. Buffalo Bills could stop the run and we could stop the pass. So keep in mind, the Miami Dolphins clearly do not have a rushing attack that's the same caliber of the Tennessee Titans. So if I'm the Miami Dolphins going into the Buffalo Bills game, I clearly see that they just shut down Derrick Henry. There's no way that we're going to be able to run the ball, especially now that the Miami Dolphins rushing attack has really struggled this season. So Miami knows that they're going to have to pass the ball to be successful on offense. And I think the Buffalo Bills know just that. When I first thought about this matchup, I was like, oh geez, well, it makes sense. All the injuries on the Buffalo Bills, maybe the Miami Dolphins just want to run the ball, keep Josh Allen on the sidelines. But that doesn't make sense because they've struggled to run so far this year, and we just proved that we could stop the number one rushing attack in the NFL. Cooper Kupp in week 1 was pretty much non-existent, but I know Cooper Kupp is a much different player than a Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. How will the Miami Dolphins try to exploit the Buffalo Bills? And their number one goal in this game is to get the Buffalo Bills out of their nickel defense, to get Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano, one of them, off the field. I believe that they're going to try to spread us out and actually bring out 4 wide receivers. With Dane Jackson being out and Trey White still not back yet, Christian Benford and Kaiir Elam look to start against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And I think Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde could very well be out, but Jaquan Johnson and the players on this defense, they're all educated. They all know where to go. They're not going to miss a beat. And I really think philosophy-wise, the Buffalo Bills would be smart to try to double Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, or at least shadow them, right? The Bills will definitely be playing those 2 back safeties no matter who they are. And to be honest, Jaquan Johnson might even be faster than Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer dealing with his foot. Damar Hamlin might even be faster than Jordan Poyer. I'm not going to say that it's a blessing in disguise, right? That they're hurt and that we're going to have faster players in to cover Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill because they're not to their caliber yet. But hey, maybe on some plays we rotate in there with the added speed. And these guys are up to speed. It's not like they're not knowing where to go. So I really think, obviously, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are probably most likely going to be on the perimeter, although they like mixing them all around, even in the slot. But Taron Johnson, our best veteran corner, is out there and he plays slot. So the matchup to the slot, why would you put your best weapon against our best? That matchup wouldn't really necessarily make sense. It makes sense for the Miami Dolphins to have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle going against these rookies. Christian Benford last year was playing Monmouth College, and now he is going against the Miami Dolphins in Miami against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Christian Benford and Kaiir Elam, they both have an ability to jam at the line of scrimmage. I think Kaiir Elam is better at press coverage than Christian Benford. Overall, right now, Christian Benford is definitely playing a lot better than Kaiir Elam. I think he just understands the defense and his overall awareness of the scheme. If Kaiir Elam and Christian Benford are able to press them and knock them off their routes and take away the middle of the field and kind of rotate them back, our safeties can kind of keep the play in front of them and kind of shadow and help out in their coverage. So the problem with doing this is it really leaves one-on-one matchups, even man coverage against guys like Mike Gesicki. Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds are going to have to be covering Mike Gesicki, which I think is definitely going to be possible, and I think they're going to definitely do. That's why I said that I think what's ultimately going to happen for the Miami Dolphins is that they're going to come out and spread. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle on the outside, Cedric Wilson in the slot. We know Miami is not going to really be able to run the ball against us, and they'll have Tyreek Hill on the perimeter, Jalen Waddle on the other perimeter, and Cedric Wilson in the slot. Now, Cedric Wilson's going to be going against Taron Johnson, and that's locked up. And on the outsides, we're going to be doubling or covering them with our safeties. Tua in this offense, he wants the ball in his hands and out. Like, he's a rhythm passer. He can't see over our defensive line. He's a shorter quarterback. So these are timed routes. These are when the ball needs to get put in a certain spot at a specific time. Knowing that Tua likes to get the ball and throw it quick, that's why I think having our corners play press, knock Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson off of their spot, and it disrupts their play. What it ultimately does is it forces Tua to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, forces him to look to his second read. Now, Miami's going to test us with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki and Chase Edmonds, right? And all their weapons that they have in this 3 wide receiver set, but it's not going to work. I know the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to stop that, and I think the next move for them is to go into a spread offense here, 4 wide receivers at least, and what that ultimately does against the Buffalo Bills, being that we're already out Dane Jackson, we're already out Trey White, they're getting into the depth of this team. The further you get into the Buffalo Bills' depth, the weaker of the talent, the weaker of the player. One thing that helps us is that Cedric Wilson is dealing with an injury, and we don't know if he's going to be able to even play this game. If he doesn't play this game, that's a huge advantage for the Bills. Week 1, Cedric Wilson played 47% of the snap count. In Week 2, he only played 31% of the snap count. A player for the Miami Dolphins that we need to watch and could be a sleeper fantasy-wise. Hopefully no Fins fans are watching this, but Trent Sherfield, wide receiver, he's 6'1", and he's fast. I think that'd be a great start in fantasy for the Miami Dolphins. But I think the Bills still do have an answer there. Cam Lewis is going to be there for the Bills. Trent Sherfield had a 35% snap count in Week 1 and in Week 2. So he's getting the most reps other than Cedric Wilson behind him. The problem with Cam Lewis is he's shorter, but he's quicker. He's a little bit agile. This Trent Sherfield, he's taller. He's like 6'1", and he's a little bit more physical. So those jump ball situations, high pointing the ball, I think he might be able to beat Cam Lewis there. But Cam Lewis is going to have to step up big time this game. Miami Dolphins defense really hasn't been playing too well, but they have an awful lot of talent and depth. And I really think the philosophy here for the Miami Dolphins is just play back. You know, to just have as many people in coverage as possible and to force the Buffalo Bills to hand the ball off to Devin Singletary, to Zach Moss. They don't want the ball in Josh Allen's hands, throwing to Stephon Diggs, who, may I add, has played Xavier Howard 4 times since 2020. He has averaged 6 receptions, 80-plus yards, and has a touchdown 75% of the time. You consider Howard is even banged up, and their other corner is a rookie, and Gabe Davis is coming back for the Bills. Dawson Knox and Josh Allen being red hot against the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be awfully hard for Miami to stop the Buffalo Bills. Well, I tried to be as unbiased as possible in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe for future content. We're going to be releasing videos every single day. I will be going live during and before games. So join me on this ride, Bills Mafia, roadmap to the Super Bowl. Let's squish the fish. Go Bills. Peace.